Now, I would like to introduce a person who has dedicated her life to creating opportunities for women and underrepresented attorneys in the legal profession, and this year she is committed in a huge way to achieving NAWL's mission. Leslie Richards-Yellen spent her career as a municipal bond attorney in both law firms and in the in-house setting. In the last 15 years, she's also served as the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This year, Leslie took a great leap and retired from the practice of law to become the full-time Director of Inclusion Americas at Hogan Lovells, and they are so lucky to have her. Our president, for about 30 more minutes, Leslie Richards-Yellen.
It would be wonderful if societal problems like sexism, racism, and homophobia had been resolved years ago, and their memories only served a purpose as cautionary tales of what had happened in a past dark age. Although the enlightened resolution of these issues is certain, it almost always takes longer than it should to reach the finish line. Overcoming biases that are deeply embedded in our culture requires not one star performer, but rather the efforts of a team that is prepared to go the distance. A team united by shared values and strategy must be willing to hand off the baton to the next runner and then the next, as she or he reaches the changeover box where the baton is passed. Many years ago, after I met the legendary sprinter Wilma Rudolph, I began to use a relay as a metaphor for an effective change strategy. Wilma was known as the Black Gazelle, and she won 3 Olympic gold medals, including one for the 4x100 relay. Wilma was an improbable woman to be the fastest woman in the world. She was born in poverty in the racially segregated South. As a child, she contracted polio, which caused her to lose strength in a leg and a foot. However, she learned to walk due to the efforts of her team. Her mother, who year after year made weekly trips to take Wilma to therapy, and her family, who took turns massaging her legs 4 times a day. Wilma's team helped her become the first American woman to win 3 gold medals. Wilma summed up her experience: the triumph can't be had without the struggle. Almost exactly 1 year ago, I watched, almost breathless with expectation, as Marcia Anastasia, the president of NAWL, and the vice president and deputy general counsel of Pitney Bowes gracefully rounded the last curve on the track as she ran her leg of the relay. Her endurance didn't flag as she ran a deliberate race. Marcia's form was pure, and it evoked her essence: efficient, elegant, and strong. My focus was on the baton that Marcia tilted towards my extended hand as she reached the changeover box. Would the 89th NAWL presidential handoff be clean? Would I be able to run the race required to achieve my vision for NAWL while addressing the challenges that arise to test leaders? As I took the baton, I realized that I had the inside lane in which to run my race. Marcia had done her best to mentor me and clear all obstacles off the track before she passed the baton to me. In that moment, just as Marcia passed the baton securely in my hand, I silently thanked the 88 women before me who had worked hard to ensure that the baton was always effectively passed. 1 year later, and it's my turn. It's my time to pass the baton for the 90th time. It is my distinct pleasure to pass the baton to Angela Berniak-Brandt. I hope that, like Marcia before me, I have cleared obstacles in Angela's way so that she can roar down the track. I know that under Angela's leadership that NAWL will perform amazingly well. Angela has the endurance to go the distance. She was instrumental in the creation of the NAWL Challenge Club, which is one of our best tools for engagement between corporations and women who work in firms. In terms of weight training, Angela pulls it. She was recently named an equity partner at her firm, Larson King. Finally, as a mother of 3 spirited boys, including a set of twins, she has the strength to balance many competing needs. As my leg of the relay is coming to a close, I have reflected on how NAWL has pushed herself this bar year. Women have had the opportunity to reach across the artificial boundaries of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and political persuasion to harness our differences, to power dynamic strategies, and develop new insights. We used our different life experiences as a way to invigorate NAWL's mission. I am proud of what we have accomplished together. With your help, we can do an enormous amount to hasten the dawning of gender equality. As much as NAWL is able to do, there is a lot that dedicated, egalitarian individuals can do to transform our workplaces. Mentoring is one of the surest ways to make a difference, and the change you create is palpable. At its core, mentoring is an investment in our collective future and is a transformative act. Mentoring is the perfect relay as 2 people work together to accomplish shared goals. Mentoring involves coaching, and sometimes there is a misguided perception that it is easier to coach people who are similar to ourselves. In my previous job, I was Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer and a finance attorney who specialized in hospital financings. I was asked to mentor a white male associate who was uniquely qualified to assist me. Despite the fact that he was incredibly competent and engaging, I preferred to pass the baton that comprised my skill set to a diverse or a woman attorney. However, I relented due to the associate's desire for me to invest in him and my desire to be a team player. As our mentoring relationship matured, we became a very strong team. Every so often, my mentee, Kurt, would ask me how he could repay me for investing in him. My answer was always the same. When you are in my position, invest in someone who looks like me. We both knew that I wanted Kurt to transfer what I had taught him to a diverse woman. As time flew by, a perfect job emerged for Kurt. He became Vice President Corporate Counsel of an integrated network of healthcare providers. After he left, Kurt called to catch up. He told me that he had hired 2 law students to help him over the summer. Without missing a beat, he told me that one of his clerks looked just like me. The rest of the story chokes me up a bit. Each summer, I get a picture of Kurt and his clerks. And most summers, one of the clerks looks just like me. After 32 years as a practicing attorney, last year I reached the finish line when Hogan Lovells hired me to be its Director of Inclusion Americas. Yet the baton I once held keeps circling the track as my investment in a young person continues to provide value to Kurt and to others. In subsequent legs of the relay, the baton I passed to a white man is flawlessly passed, year after year, to a diverse team. A white man is helping to fulfill my heart's desire of helping diverse and women attorneys succeed. As the diversity of all members of our relay teams expand, we are closer to our shared goal of equality in the legal profession. In closing, please reflect on another quote from Wilma Rudolph. No matter what accomplishments you make, somebody helps you. Thank you for all the help and kindness you have shown me this year. I want to recognize, and I don't see her, but I know she's here, Selma Moydell Smith, NAWL member over here, NAWL member extraordinaire, who has mentored generations of NAWL presidents. Thanks to my... Selma is all of 89 years young. I want to thank my firm, Hogan Lovells, for allowing me to invest my time in NAWL, and a special thank you to my wonderful family, whose unconditional support makes so many things possible.